Welcome back to the Pointless Podcast with Carter and Ethan. That's the title. We didn't have a title last time. And then we decided on pointless because everything we talk about is pointless.
Exactly.
So, how are we going to start this, Ethan?
Okay. Well, we can just jump right into the thing that I'm waiting to tell you.
Yes.
That's been going
Ethan
for
has
a while.
been waiting to tell me something. We have like a Google Doc of things we want to talk about in the podcast, and he wrote this thing, and it's literally just titled Ethan's Thing, and he won't tell me what it is, and we've been waiting to shoot this episode for like weeks, and he's been keeping it a secret, so I'm actually curious to know what it is. So take it away, Ethan.
We could have filmed this a long time ago, but Carter's kind of a wreck of a person right now, and I don't know what he does all day.
I actually do nothing.
But I'll be like, hey Carter, you want to like hang out and just film this thing? And he's like, oh sorry, I'm like out of town for the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? Or you just show up late, like an hour late to everything.
Because I what's the word? Underestimate or overestimate?
Underestimate how long something will take.
Yeah, I underestimate. I'm like, oh, I can like if I leave at this time, I'll easily be able to get there on time. And then when I realize that it takes way longer to actually get ready and get out the door, that's why I'm always late to things. So I apologize to everyone in my life. This is a formal apology to everyone who has ever been victim of my lateness. I'm working on it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So, have you ever seen the movie Tag?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's like in the movie Tag, it's this group of friends who plays a game of tag every May. And it goes throughout May, okay?
Yeah.
So me and my friends basically are doing this, but it's all summer long.
Oh no.
And how we're doing it is it would be so lame if we just did that because we'd have to basically the only way that we'd be able to catch each other was just like guess where we'd be, like go to your house and like guess, which is kind of lame. So I don't know if you know what Life 360 is.
I don't.
It's
Explain.
an app for like families. So like families like we'll put everyone in there so you can see where your kids are or whatever.
So it's like Find My Friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're using that,
Oh, no.
but with everyone constantly on it.
No.
So you can constantly see. So there's been a lot of happenings. So it started around the start of summer, all right? Like about a week into summer we started it. And we just started it randomly. We just spun the wheel. We just spun a wheel of like chance to guess who's going to become it.
Mm-hmm.
And then right as we spun it, the guy we could see on the map just sprinting 14 miles an hour at us. Yeah, you can see how fast he's going. He was going 14 miles an hour at us.
Oh my god.
And we got in a car. We're screaming because he's on his way at full speed, and we're screaming because we were waiting for a text to get the okay to leave in the car.
Oh my god.
So we're sitting there screaming, and then we go all the way to McDonald's, which is another like 4 kilometers away from us, and we're kind of like chilling. We're like, okay, he's not gonna come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next time we check them out, he's like he's running. He's still going. He didn't stop. He didn't get in a car. He didn't get on a bus. No, he kept going. So then we dipped into the mall area and ran all through there until he caught us.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stories like that, and it's very entertaining, but you're constantly on edge. One of my favorite ones was we were all walking, and we knew one of our friends, he like halftime he lives across town.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, it's fine. Like we don't have to worry about it. You don't need to check the map. It's fine. And then we were walking to Tim's because we go to Tim's like every day basically, and we always play the same song called "Walk" while we walk around, so he could hear us coming, and he was in a bush.
Oh.
He was in a. So we're just walking, and then he just jumps out of the bush, but. He was an idiot because he went after the only person that he couldn't tag because there's no tag backs. And he ran after the person that he couldn't tag.
Oh, jeez.
And I think this was the same day that the person he was chasing jumped a fence into someone's backyard, crushed a plastic bucket, and then the guy like jumped out his window. And then my friend had to like scurry back over or something or run. I don't know. We're pretty insane. Like we're very intense. I don't think many friend groups could go through with this with always being tracked and always being on edge and like.
True. I don't know if I could.
Like it's a very fun thing, but you do lose a part of your privacy because we always know where you are.
True.
Yeah, and there's not many limits. Like the only limit was work and like sports.
Okay,
And that's like
that's
all.
fair.
Anything else is fair game.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, there were a couple other really good ones. The other night there's a guy who was in the game, and he got out because we had a rule where it's 1 week with the tag, and if you don't tag someone in 1 week, you're kicked out.
Oh.
So like it's like a ticking time.
Yeah.
And one of the other guys who was in was at that guy's house, so we drove there, and he opened the door, and then he was like, if you come down. Oh no, he didn't. We didn't even knock on the door. We knocked on the window. We were all like lurking in the window, and then they were like saw us, and one of the guys that didn't want to be hid, and the other guy came up and said, you can go down and find him if you want. This was like 12 a.m. So his parents were definitely like, why are there people at our window or something? I don't know. But and then 2 seconds later, we just see him sprint out full force, like the guy that just got tagged, sprint out full force, and we started like everyone ran around, and then I got tagged because I had like a blister on my foot that day because we walk everywhere. Like I'm always out.
Yeah.
We walk everywhere, and I don't know if I popped it or I don't know what happened, but it was the most pain I've ever felt. I fell to the ground, and then my friend was like, "You're it."
Oh god.
And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." But literally, I couldn't.
Gotcha.
I had to go home. Like he had to drive me home because I couldn't walk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was in so much pain. I don't know why. I was like hopping on one foot.
I was in pain yesterday. We're trying to walk around at Fringe Fest because my knee.
What happened to your knee?
This is an embarrassing story. I didn't even do anything fun to it. I was sitting on the couch watching Stranger Things 3, which, by the way, is very good.
Yeah, I finished it in a day.
I finished it in a couple, like 2 weeks, because my family makes me watch it together. Like, we have to watch it as a family. So, like, we do, like, 1 or 2 episodes a night. But, like, some nights I'm not home or my sister's not home or my mom's at work or something. And so then we can't watch. So I got spoilers because I didn't watch it. I didn't binge it all in the first day.
Literally,
so
all
spoilers.
of TikTok was spoilers.
Oh, I know. So
it was awful.
terrible.
I don't know why.
That's where
I
I
don't know
got
why
the
they'd
spoilers
allow
from.
that.
Well, they can't really. It's hard to stop. All
But
the
seriously,
spoilers from showing
it
up.
was the whole For You page. It was like a day after. Like I was fine because I watched it in a day.
Well, yeah,
I'm
you're
insane.
fine.
But like people that take a couple like more time, like a normal person to watch it, would like get entirely spoiled.
Yeah, it was the worst. So thank you, TikTok, for spoiling Stranger Things 3. I appreciate you so much. I still cried at the end, though, even though I knew it was coming. Anyways, so I'm watching Stranger Things 3, right? Actually, my sister was watching the last episode because she didn't watch the last episode with us. She broke the rules, the family rules. So I was watching it for the second time when she was watching it, and I'm sitting cross-legged on the couch, and I, like, put pressure down on my, like, thigh, and for some reason, like, the lower half of my leg went in one direction, and then I pushed down on my thigh, and then my knee just like gave up because my leg was going in 2 different directions and like popped, and I was in extreme pain for like a solid 30 seconds. And then I like clicked it back into place, and then every time I bend my knee, like when I'm getting into my car and stuff, it pops again, and I'm in extreme pain for like 5 seconds, and then I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I should probably go to a doctor.
So you
because
dislocated your knee
something
sitting on
like,
the couch?
Yes, like sitting cross-legged, and I like leaned over on my leg, and just like it just cracked, and I was like, that's not supposed to happen. So I was walking around at Fringe Fest yesterday, and it like clicked, and I was like limping around Fringe Fest. So that was nice. I also got recognized I didn't get recognized in person, but I got someone DM'd me on Instagram after being at Fringe Fest yesterday, and they were like, "Oh my god, I had no idea you lived here." Like, I've been fun. It was kind of cool. Like, I wish people would like come up to me in real life, but then I just get DMs after, and they're like, "I saw you," and I was like, "Okay, cool."
Do you get recognized a lot? Is that a thing that happens?
Well, not a lot, but I've had like a couple occasions recently. I was at the mall like 2 weeks ago with my friend, and someone stopped by, and it was funny because this is like that was the first time it had ever happened. It happened once, at our acting studio premiere, because some little kid came up to me and he was like, "Are you from TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh my god, I love your videos," and I was like, "Thank you." So that was like the first time, but like the first like true time in public was a couple weeks ago. I was at the mall, like I said, and we were just walking, and then someone stopped next to us. They were walking the opposite direction, and they stopped, and in my peripheral vision, I knew something was about to happen. Like I could feel it because they were like looking at me, and I didn't want to make direct eye contact, but I was like, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" And they're like, "Excuse me, do you make TikToks?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And they're like, "Oh, cool." So anyways, that was the like first true like being recognized in public, and my friend was standing next to me laughing her head off hysterically because that was the first time that had ever happened. So that was kind of cool. And then it happened again sort of yesterday because someone DM'd me and they were like, oh my God, I just saw you. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm starting to get recognized now. And it makes me wonder how many other people have seen me and not came up to me and said hi. So I don't know.
Well, it sounds like if people don't know you live in Winnipeg, they're like...
That's the other thing. They're like confused. They're like, wait a second. Is he here?
Is that Steve from Stranger Things? Or is that Carter? I don't know.
Is that Kev Wood here?
I was reading your comments the other day because I was just reading a comment on your video, and you still get that like constantly. It's like, is this Kevboy? Oh, I thought this was Kevboy Pair. I'm like, oh my God.
It's still going on.
Dead joke.
I know.
Dead joke.
Anyways.
So next we're gonna talk about we recently did, me and Carter and a couple other friends, we recently did a film festival. We did a 48-hour film festival. The 48-hour film festival is something that goes on here in Winnipeg, and basically the name self-explains it. You film a movie in 48 hours, and then it can go to it's shown at the Met here, and it's shown in Gimli, which is a couple towns over, and just a film festival down there. So it's a fun thing to do for us. We did it last year, and we got into Gimli. This year we did it, but our movie it didn't get into Gimli this year. But last year we did it with our acting instructors. And we did a movie called Cheese Water.
Cheese Water. It's become like a running gag with everyone now just because the name is so fantastic. Not bad. It's not bad. What are you talking about? It's the best name you could ever call a movie. So our camera just shut off. Your ukulele. Oh my God.
Oh no.
And we're back on. So, welcome back after that short delay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Cheese Water. We were making a movie last year, and our good pal Ben. Shout out to Ben. What's up, Ben? Not that he listens to our podcast. He was like, we should call the movie Cheese Water. Like, I really want to make a movie called Cheese Water. And we were all like, ha ha ha, Ben, we're not calling it.
It's like going to be a working title.
Yeah, so it was our working title. We were like, just as for jokes, we're like, call it Cheese Water, and then we'll come up with a proper name. And then by the end of filming, we were like, what are we going to call this movie? And we're like, screw it, we're calling it Cheese Water.
Yeah.
So we incorporated the word Cheese Water into the script in the worst way possible. And then we called the movie Cheese Water. And we got nominated for some awards at the Gimli Film Fest, and it was a good time. Yeah. This year, however, we didn't get into Gimli.
This year, it was last year our film was about a drunk guy getting home, and it was very just simple, a lot of walking shots. It was very simple. This year we made more of an artsy film.
Yeah.
But I thought it turned out really good, but it was a little harder to do because they give you things you have to do every year.
Requirements.
So, requirements. Yeah. Last year they were pretty simple. This year it was like you have to speak French in it, and you had to incorporate a digital shot, which is like a phone shot or something.
So it had to be shot on like a smart device, like an iPhone or like tablet or something. Which
is odd, and also it was weird because they didn't really specify how they'd know. So like
if you shoot if I shoot with my phone and I shoot it vertically, you know that that's an iPhone shot because it's a very distinct type of shot. But if I rotate it horizontally and I shoot horizontally, the quality on iPhones is so good nowadays that you probably wouldn't even be able to tell that you were shooting on an iPhone. So I emailed the people like mid filming, and I was like, "Yo, how are you gonna know that we shot this on an iPhone?" And they're like, "You know what? Just do it. We'll trust you." And I'm like, "Okay." So we did it, and we just used the slow-mo effect on iPhone to get a slow-mo shot.
I think our whole last year it felt a lot more organized. This year we were kind of a shit show.
That's because we didn't have any adults with us. We decided to go into the youth because last year we were with our staff members at our film studio, and so we were entered as an adult team, and there was a couple of us teens that were helping out. But this year our staff didn't enter a team, so we went in just the kids, and we did a youth team. So that's for anyone under 25. So we didn't have any adults with us, and I think that's part of the that's why it felt less organized because we didn't have anyone to rein us in when we got crazy. We
also did a shot. I remember when we went to the bus stop to do a shot at a bus stop.
Oh God.
We forgot I think a total of 5 different cords or assets we needed, and we sent Ben's friends to skateboard back to his house, which is 4 or 5 minutes away over and over again because we kept forgetting things, and then they wouldn't know something, so we get a call. It was pretty all over the place.
Anyways, it went well, and I was really hoping that we were going to get into Gimli because, spoiler alert, our good pal Ben that we mentioned earlier, he shaved his freaking head for our movie. So
Are you gonna post our movie on your
once
on your YouTube?
once we're allowed to, once it airs at the Met,
Okay.
then we're allowed to post it publicly, and then you can look at our film. It's called Personification. Anyways, Ben, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna shave my head. Let's do it. And we're like, okay. So all this dedication, and we didn't even make it into the big film festival. Yeah. So I mean, whatever.
And I almost thought this one was better than our last.
Yeah,
year's.
I don't know, but you know what? Winnipeg Film Group, if you're listening to our podcast, no hate to you. It's all good. We're gonna enter next year, but we were a little sad that shaving his head dedication didn't get us into Gimli. But
I guess
it's
we
okay.
all should have shaved our head.
We all should. Next year, we're just all gonna shave our heads, but no hard feelings.
Next year we're gonna shave our eyebrows. We're gonna cut off
God,
our eyelashes. We're just gonna go no hair.
Yeah, that's a fantastic plan. So that was the 48-hour film festival.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun though. I ate
I ate
crappy food all weekend.
The biggest problem for me is it's right before exams.
Oh,
So
God.
it was exactly before exams.
It was good for me though, because I took AP classes. Not to brag or anything, but I actually didn't get any of my credits. I shouldn't be bragging. I took a lot of AP classes, and I had
You
like
didn't get
no
any credits. What do you mean?
like I didn't get the university credits. 'Cause
Oh,
you can get university credits, so you don't have to take university classes.
why didn't you do that?
What?
What do you mean?
Like I didn't get a high enough score.
Oh,
qualify
what's
for-
the score?
You have to get a 4 or a 5, and I got like 3s and 2s. They're extremely hard.
Wild card.
Look, I got like 95s in the class, like the actual like the teacher mark stuff. I got like a 95, but for the like AP, because it's not made by the teacher, right? It's made by the like AP people, and the one that they made, I got like a 2 on it, but then I got like a 95 in the class. So it just kind of shows the level of difficulty that they put on the exams. Anyways, I didn't actually have any exams in June because I did all my exams in May because I only had AP classes. So all the exams are in May, and then I had like no classes for the last month of school. So that was cool.
Yeah,
so I didn't actually have to stress about anything during the 48-hour film festival.
For me, the 48 was on the weekend, and then on the Monday, I had a math exam, and I was like, sick.
Math exams are the best.
I'm so bad at math. I can't do math. Like, when I see numbers, I, like, freak out. I can't do it. Everything else I'm really good at. Like, English, I'm really good at. Science, I'm really good at. Everything else, I'm really good at, but it's just because I coast, because I have a really good memory, so I kind of just coast through school.
Yeah.
But that's all.
I'm pretty good at most stuff. Like math is like, science is my number one. I'm going into science next year for university. But like math, I can do. Calculus was a little different this year. It got a little tougher. But at least I've taken the course now, so when I do it in university, I already have a head start. But calculus was definitely a wake-up call. But for the most part, math is not too bad for me. But science is definitely my number one.
So bringing it back to your TikTok, yes.
Always.
So we were talking about it the other day. You've had like no, like you, not to say you haven't had no like big ones, but then yesterday you had 2 in the span of a day gain what, like together probably like almost 300,000 likes together combined.
Yeah, it was it would be like over like 200,000.
Yeah,
just
almost,
over 200,000.
yeah.
So like I've had lately, like I've been posting TikToks and stuff, and then, like my smaller ones will get like anywhere between like 500 and 1,000, and then my like bigger ones were getting like 2,000 to 3,000. And I was like, you know, it's like whatever, like nothing I can do about it. And I was like, I haven't any like big ones because my last big one was like weeks and weeks ago, and I got like 67,000, right? But then yesterday, I literally posted 2, like one at like 11 in the morning, and then the one at like 12 o'clock, and they both, one of them got 100,000 likes, and the other, and now it's at 150,000, and then the other one is at like 80,000 now in like the span of like 12 to 24 hours. It was nuts, and I've already gained 1,000. Like I don't know, so many followers. It's kind of crazy.
The
that
algorithm
happens.
doesn't make any sense. It kind of just throws it whenever it feels.
TikTok is very random.
Yeah.
It like you don't know what's gonna happen. You post a video and then it might go nowhere, or it might get 150,000 views in 12 hours.
Unless you're me, they always go nowhere. It's like,
Well,
I'm like
you have
15 likes. I'm like, 15.
You have to get like that's how it starts
For the longest time,
For the longest time, that's how I was. I was like 15 likes. That's crazy, right? But and then at one point or another, it like picks up, and then all of a sudden, you're getting thousands, and like it just at one point or another it clicks, and then you just start getting a lot more, and you're like as your average. I don't know, but that's my short little story. I posted 2 yesterday that went wild, so that's kind of fun.
So recently in California, VidCon happened, right?
Yes, VidCon. I wish I went.
Don't we all? Don't we all
I
wish?
think everyone wants to go to VidCon. Who doesn't want to Who doesn't want a VidCon? Who doesn't want to go to VidCon?
Did you hear during VidCon? So one of the big controversies about VidCon is that no right wing like people, not like far right, but like no right wing people at all were invited.
Right.
You know, I find that kind of interesting. But Trump actually made a not to bring politics, but he made a creator summit at the White House the same time that VidCon was going on for right wing creators, which is like, come on, it's like almost like it's blatantly obvious what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But why would he even do that? There's not even a point.
I think next year we should do that. Not that.
We should make a right wing creator.
Not a right. No, but like there's gonna be the popular creators, and then we're gonna make the unpopular creator. Like there's the TikTok after party. We're gonna have the unpopular TikTok creator after party.
Oh, sick!
I think that's a good idea. So like anyone that's like not super big on TikTok, but like moderately like has a fan base, we'll like all get together and
Can
party.
I join even though I have like 70
no,
followers?
You're with me. You're my +1.
Oh, okay, sick. Thanks.
So all of you like lower level popular TikTokers, hit me up on Instagram at Carter Ketchup. Let me know if you're interested in. Actually, this idea was inspired by on TikTok Danny Phantom Gang. Shout out to you. He suggested having an unpopular creator meetup, and I'm definitely down to do that. So hit me up, guys. Let's get an unpopular creator TikTok meetup happening. So just saying, hit me up on Instagram. But yeah, we should definitely let's go to VidCon next year.
Let's go to VidCon.
We're gonna go to VidCon next year.
I mean, it's not like out of the picture. Like it's not too expensive. It's a trip to LA, and
I always wanted to go to LA. Well,
I've been to LA. I went to LA in grade 7, I think. I don't know. It was really nice down there. Every time I go on a trip or like go do something, I feel like it's like an out of body experience. Like I feel like this isn't my life. Like.
Yeah.
It almost feels like it's not happening.
That's like when I was in Italy and Greece last year. It was
weird.
weird.
To Italy last year?
I went on the school Europe trip to Italy. It was a good time.
Your school's a Europe trip? That's sick.
You don't have a Europe trip?
No.
Oh yeah, we have a Europe trip every year, and any grade except for grade 9s, because you have to start like planning the year before. Mm-hmm. So grade 10, 11, and 12, anyone can go. So I went to Italy and Greece last year, and I'm quickly trying to think of if there's any fun stories from Italy and Greece. There definitely was. I remember I have these like lenses for my phone, so I can like take like better pictures. So I have like wide lenses and stuff. And I was going up this mountain on like a little chairlift on the island of Capri. I don't know how you're actually supposed to say it, off the coast of Italy. And so you go up on these like little tiny single person chairlifts. It's like a 15-minute chairlift ride all the way to the top, and then I was filming with it because I was doing some people had recommended you do like a time lapse video all the way up, or I did it on the way down actually. So as we were going down, I was like getting onto the chairlift, and the guy that like swings the like bar down, like the seatbelt bar, he swung it down into my lens, and there was like a echoing like ding because it hit the metal on my lens, and I had like a heart attack because I thought he just shattered my whole lens, and he like didn't even care. Just kept me sending it, and like I thought, and so if you watch the time lapse video, if you were to like slow it down and watch it, you can see me every once in a while turn the phone around, and like it's like looking at my face because I'm trying to see if my lens is cracked. It was the scariest moment of my life because I'm holding my phone like this, and he freaking swings the bar down into my phone and like hit, and there's paint chipped off my lens.
Those things,
because he hit it.
Those things scare me. Like those, I went to Banff for a band trip this year, and we were on one of the lifts up to a top of a mountain. It was kind of just like this area with like had restaurants up there and like just kind of stuff like that. And my friend was like sticking his entire phone out of the side of the thing. I'm like, what if it falls? Like, what would you do?
That's what I did, is because on my phone case, this is the case that the lens is attached to, so you have a special case for it, but there's these little loops at the bottom. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can't see this.
Now you really can't see it.
Now no one can see it because our camera just shut off, but I'm going to keep talking anyways. So sorry, YouTube. There's these little loops on the bottom of my phone case, and I looped a... Okay, the camera's back. I looped like a wrist strap to the thing, and I always had it on my wrist at all times. So if someone tried to snag my phone, because that happens when you're in Europe, sometimes they try to steal your stuff. It wasn't actually that bad in Italy and Greece, but I always had a wrist strap on. So if I dropped it or if someone tried to grab it, they couldn't. So that was nice. Actually, talking about people stealing things, or just kind of the funny things that go on when you're in Europe. If you've ever been to places, like I'm sure it happens a lot in other places, but I know for sure in Italy and Greece, people pick out tourists because tourists are very easy to spot. If you look on my Instagram at my probably in my Greece one, my post about Greece, you can see I look exactly like every dad on summer vacation. Like I had like a straw fedora that I bought in Italy, and I've got like the cargo shorts and the big like hiking shoes.
Isn't that
like
what you always look like?
That's what I always look like, but especially when I was in Greece, because I just bought the hat in Italy and I just really look like a dad on vacation. So obviously that wasn't a great thing because I would be picked out by people trying to steal, but luckily I wasn't. It wasn't that bad there. But what does happen is, and you'll know this if you've ever been to any of those places, people try to sell you things without they give you stuff and then try to make you pay for it after they've shoved it into your hands, and then they won't take it back. And so your only option is to pay for it.
Can you just put it on the ground and walk away?
Well, you could, but anyways, so what happened is the teachers warned us time and time again before we got to Italy, because that was the first stop. Greece was later. But like at the meetings before the trip, on the plane, everywhere they said, do not accept anything from anyone. They're going to try to give, they go up to girls and they give them flowers. They say, oh, you're so beautiful, have this flower. And then they try to make you pay for it after. And they're like, do not accept anything from anyone because you're going to get scammed and they're going to try to take money from you. And we're like, okay, got it. We're not going to take anything. What happens the first time we're in Rome and the tour guide's like, Rome free, you get an hour, meet us back here.
Rome free in Rome?
Unintentional pun. That was actually pretty good. I'm going to write that down. Anyways, we actually got to do a lot of like roaming around. Like there was like, on our first day, it was lots of like, here's a little thing. Okay, now go for half an hour. And then we would walk somewhere, he'd explain something for 5 minutes and let us go free again. For like, that was the whole first day. So we got to do a lot of exploring. Anyways, what's the first thing that happened? That's right. Some guy came up to us and he was like, oh, where are you from? He knew we were tourists. And we're like, Canada. He's like, oh, from Canada. I love Canada. And we're like, oh, haha. And like, we're all fooled instantly. He seems like a nice guy. And he's like, here, have these little carvings of these elephants that I made. And he starts handing them out to all of us. And we're like, oh, thank you so much. He's like, you can have them. Like, they're for you. And I'm like, oh, we're all, like, there's like 7 of us, me and my friends. And we're all like, oh, thank you so much. And then he starts to walk away. And then he turns around and he goes, I just had a kid. Do you want to see my kid? And we're like, oh sure. God. So he whips out his phone and he shows us this picture, which is, it's a picture that's from like someone else's like Facebook page. It's obviously not his kid. And he's like, look at my newborn kid. Like, I really need money for my kid. Do you have anything that you could spare? Like, can you give me any money for my kid? And we're like, oh, sorry, we don't actually have anything on us. He's like, are you sure? And then he starts giving us more things. He's like, here, have these bracelets too. And then he starts to walk away and comes back. He's like, oh, you should, like, do you have anything you could give me for my kid? So do you see what he's doing? He's giving us stuff and trying to make us pay for it by saying it's for his kid, who obviously doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then
did you give the stuff back, or did you?
We were like, no, we don't want to give you anything. So you can actually have these back. Like, we could tell that at that point we figured he was trying to make us pay for it. So he's tried to give it back. He's like, no, they're for you. Keep them. They're free. But give me money for my kid. And oh my God, we eventually were so adamant on like, take it back. We are leaving, that he finally just gave up. So we were very persistent. We didn't give in. I mean, at first we did.
Did he take it back?
He eventually took it back. He's like, fine. Like, he obviously like gave up, and so he took all the stuff back, and we got the heck out of there. But it kept happening, and I remember one time it was actually super scary because we were walking through Greece, and there was these guys trying to give out bracelets, and then we were like, we could see them coming because they were all from like the same place, and they they would like try to give you a bracelet, and we would like turn around and walk away and like make a corner, and there'd be another one like walking towards us, and then, and then we would turn around and go to another corner, there'd be another one.
They're multiplying.
And it would that seriously, that's what it felt like. It was kind of scary because like everywhere you turned there was another one of them. Like there was a group of them in this area, and they were all walking around. So everywhere you turned, they were there, and it was kind of scary. And then the funniest story. This is I keep rambling about all these things, but this one kid. Shout out to you, Jacob. We all bug you about this. Some guy came up to him with a bracelet, tied it around his hand before he could do anything about it, and then he was like, "Now give me money for it. I gave it to you," and he couldn't do anything about it, so he had to pay like €10, which is probably like $15.
Holy shit.
So he paid like $15 to $20 for this little string bracelet that this guy forcefully wrapped around his wrist, and then made him pay for it. You're scared. It's like the first or second day. You don't know what to do.
If it was me, I'd just take it off and throw it on the ground.
I know. It's a fun time in Italy. So, moral of the story: if you go somewhere in Europe, don't take things from the people that the nice people that try to give you things. Don't do it.
Even if it's for their kids.
Even if it's for their kids.
They're Facebook kids.
They're Facebook kids that don't exist. I think. Sorry to that guy if your kid actually did exist.
So. It's summer right now, and we're going out a lot. Like, me and my friends are constantly out.
I wish I could relate.
Wow, that's kind of sad. But we literally go out every night, even if everyone has work. You know, we're kind of stupid like that. But I was just thinking about a couple fun summer stories. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago. I was out with a couple of friends, and we were at the skate park, what we call the Shade Park, because last year, there's a news story where a kid got macheted there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. According to the news, a group of kids like walked up to another group of kids and were like, "Give us like your shit."
Oh my god.
And he had a machete with him. The kid like threatening him, and they kind of called his bluff and started like running away.
Oh my god.
And then the kid got macheted. Like, he got hit with machete. I think you have to have a lot of balls to hit someone with machete, because that's like not like shooting them with a gun is one thing. Cause it's like boom, and it's like done.
Yeah.
But like hitting him with a machete, you're gonna have to hit him, and then just like you have to yank it out. You're gonna
How did he where did he hit him with it? Like, is the kid okay?
It was in the leg or something. I don't remember.
God.
But like, it was like, who carries around a machete with them?
Well, that's wow.
But we were hanging. That's why we call it the Shade Park. But we were hanging out there, and we saw like something that was clearly a drug deal, right? So like we were kind of sitting just
Welcome
on like
to Winnipeg.
We were just sitting on the skate park kind of thing. And then my friend just goes like this. Like, he just gets up, and we're like, "What are you doing?" And he walks up like this, and he's like, "I'm about to get me some weed!" And he just starts, like, charging him.
Oh, my
like,
God.
walking towards him. And these guys look at him with the most anger and start walking towards us. And we're like, "Shh." And then a guy in the parking lot starts ripping donuts. And we just sprinted. We were gone. But I don't know what brought him to do that. There's so many stories we have of people chasing us, like, in cars, like whenever there's like a group of teenagers, they chase us. It's almost fun, but it almost is scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, there was this one time, our friend had just dyed his hair.
Oh, I think your friend died. Jesus.
No, no, he just dyed his hair blue. It was the first time, and then this group of cars kind of rolls past and just yells, "Fag." So we thought it was at him, and we were like, "Oh, why would he do this?" So then my friend just whips both middle fingers out of this car, and this car just goes right around, and we dip. So we're dipping through here, through like CJS kind of area, like a school, and they're kind of going through a community center parking lot. So we thought we lost them, like, we're done. So we're like we're gonna keep going to Sev. So we keep walking, and then right as we're about to cross the street, they're right there, and they just go, "Sup, effers," and we're like, "Oh no!" So we dip, and I remember running into a back alley and just scraping my hands on a bunch of gravel. I think there was another time where a car chased us too. I think there's it's harmless. It's just a bunch of teenagers doing it, but like it's kind of fun, the chase, because I know they won't catch us, because worst came to worst, we just jump a fence.
Yeah.
And we'd live.
I remember my sister stuck the bird at some drivers one time. I'm talking about my sister's younger than me. I just graduated, and she's 3 years younger than me, so she's just finished grade 9. But this was like years ago, so we're talking probably a grade 5 or 6er. Like, this is how old she was. And we were in the car, and someone was like trailing really close behind our car, and my mom was driving, and my mom just made a comment of like, "Get off my or something, and my little sister spins around and whips the finger up the driver's behind us. And that's a funny time. But also, this is a different story, but I was the one I'm that friend that initiates things with other people. Like, I'm the friend that would run up to them, because I did it one time. They didn't reciprocate. There was no angry response, but my friends got mad at me because someone walked by. We were eating ice cream or something, and it was like this group of like older teenagers. Like, this was like only like last summer, but they were like obviously a few years older than us, so they could have beaten the crap out of us. And they said something about like, oh, like they saw our ice cream and said something about how they wanted to get ice cream. And I just said something like, do it. Like, really like intimidate, like really like aggressively, like, do it, get the ice cream. And they just kept walking by. But my friends got so scared for a second, and they started like yelling at me. They were like, dude, why would you do that? Like, we could have got beaten up. I was like, it's fine, I'll fight them off.
Oh yeah, Carter, you're gonna find them.
That was a terrible thing to do.
You would like get your
if that had actually happened,
they'll hit you with a UPS truck.
Oh god, not again.
Again.
Anyways, I feel like we're coming close to the end.
Yeah, I think so too.
Any last stories?
I don't think I have any. So you want something to hear?
I think we should end here. I think we're pretty close to the end.
Yeah. So
all right. I think we're going to try to do more frequent podcasts, because this is about a month apart. Episode 2 came out a month after episode 1. We're going to try to keep it more frequent now that it's actually summer. We can get together a little more often, and I promise we will, because I know I haven't for a while. We could also like film like 2 in a day or something, but that's actually hard because there's not a lot to talk about. We always find ourselves struggling by the end, so I don't even know if we'd be able to start a second one in a day. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the podcast for today.
Check me and Carter out on YouTube.
Carter Hines, Ethan Lyric.
Yep.
Also on TikTok, Carter Ketchup and Ethan Lyric. Yeah, so that's it for the podcast.
Thank you.
Check us out on social media, and we'll see you guys later. Peace out.